All right, let's jump right into this. If you're someone who completely geeks out over the fine details of flavor balancing and you want to understand how seemingly clashing tastes can create absolute magic together, well, you are in the perfect place. Today, we're bringing you an explainer on a true masterpiece of Thai cuisine. We're going to figure out exactly how to make an incredibly intense, delicious sweet fish sauce known as Nam Pla Wan, unlock its three-flavor secret, and discover the absolute best menu pairings for it, especially when it comes to the notoriously bitter Neem plant, or Sadao. So let's dive in and decode how all these bold elements come together. Think about this for a second. How do you take four extreme flavor profiles, sweet, sour, salty, and bitter, and balance them perfectly on a single plate, without one completely overpowering the rest? I mean, it sounds like a culinary tightrope walk, right? But the genius of this dish is all in its layered execution. We're going to break down exactly how to craft a rich, complex sauce that actually tames one of the most bitter greens in the entire botanical world.
Okay, let's get into our first major concept. Act 1, the three-flavor secret.
So to conquer that intense bitterness, you need a seriously powerful binding agent. Enter the legendary Nam Pla Wan, which translates to sweet fish sauce. To get this bridge right, look at the lineup here, and notice the heavy emphasis on the word premium. You really can't cut corners on this. You need high-quality palm sugar, which is totally non-negotiable by the way, because it gives you this smooth, aromatic sweetness instead of just a flat sugar spike. Then you combine that with authentic fish sauce for a deep, savory umami, tamarind juice for this bright, fruity tang, plus some freshly sliced shallots and dried chilies.
Actually, before we mix those liquids, we've got to prep our toppings, and this involves a super critical culinary technique. You start by frying your shallots in oil until they hit this perfect golden brown, and no darker because they'll keep cooking after you take them out. But here's the real pro secret step 2, the micro-tension technique. You literally have to remove the pan from the heat to drop the oil temperature before you even think about adding those dried chilies. If that oil is too hot, bam, the chilies burn instantly and turn incredibly bitter. By letting the oil cool and then frying them gently on low heat, they slowly toast until they release this deeply pungent aroma that will absolutely fill your entire kitchen.
Right, so once those toppings are set aside, it's time to actually build the sauce using that exact same infused oil. You saute some fresh shallots until they're fragrant, and then you introduce our three-flavor secret, the premium palm sugar, the water, the authentic fish sauce, and the tamarind juice. You just stir this over medium heat until the palm sugar completely dissolves. This right here is where the magic happens. You're actively creating this incredibly harmonious, simmered reduction of sweet, sour, and salty.
Now you might be wondering, how do I actually know when it's done? Well, you drop the heat to medium-low and let it simmer for about 15 minutes. At first, you're going to see these delicate little bubbles, but you are looking for a massive visual transformation. When the whole surface is covered in large, thick, wavy bubbles, that's your cue to turn off the heat. And listen to this vital tip straight from our source material. The hot sauce is still going to look a little bit thin. Do not panic and overcook it. As it cools down to room temperature, all those sugars set, giving you this deeply intense, thick, glossy caramelization. It's beautiful.
So, with our sweet, sour, and salty glaze resting, let's move right along to Act 2, Taming the Bitter Hero.
We have to prepare the very reason this sauce even exists in the first place, the Sadao, or Neem plant. Now, this is a highly seasonal ingredient. It bursts into the markets basically just once a year around November. But you can't just grab any neem you see. There are two very distinct botanical varieties. You've got Sadao Calm, which has these red-tinted leaves and is just aggressively, intensely bitter. We definitely want to avoid that one. Instead, you're looking for Sadao Mun, bright green leaves, tons of little flowers. Mun translates roughly to nutty or rich. It still packs that signature bitter punch, for sure, but it's milder and has this amazing nutty undertone.
Okay, I want you to literally burn this number into your memory. 15. That is the absolute maximum number of seconds this delicate plant should ever touch boiling water.
Let's break down the science of this perfect blanch. First, you get a pot of water to a rolling boil and add a teaspoon of salt. That salt, that's your secret weapon to locking in the vibrant, bright green hue of the leaves. You drop the neem in and you count to 15. That is it. If you go over, those leaves are going to turn this dull, unappetizing dark green or even black. The absolute second you hit 15, you pull it out and plunge it directly into an ice water bath. This immediately stops the cooking process dead in its tracks, preserving the crisp texture, the bright color, and that perfect tamed level of bitterness.
Oh, and if you happen to buy too much of this seasonal delicacy, check out this brilliant pro tip from the source.
After you've blanched and ice-shocked your neem, just make sure it's completely drained on a wire rack. Then pack it into an airtight Ziploc bag, squeeze out all the oxygen, and just toss it right in the freezer. Because you use that precise 15-second blanching technique, it will actually maintain its freshness and color for up to an entire year. It's like a culinary time capsule.
All right, time for the finale. Act 3, the ultimate pairing. So we have our perfectly thick 3-flavor sauce, and we've got our vibrant, slightly bitter greens ready to go. Now it's time to bring these elements together with a savory protein to complete the menu. The bitter neem and that sweet sauce are super powerful, right? So they need a protein that can really stand up to them. The undisputed traditional pairing, the absolute classic, is grilled catfish. Its smoky, flaky, savory profile absorbs the sweet sauce beautifully while totally cutting through the bitterness. But hey, the beauty of this dish is its versatility. Grilled shrimp is a fantastic, easily accessible alternative, giving you a bouncy texture and natural sweetness. Or you could even go with fried mackerel, which brings this incredibly rich, dense, salty crunch to the plate.
So what does the final assembly actually look like? Imagine this. You arrange your bright green Sadao right alongside your chosen protein. You pour your thick, cooled, sweet fish sauce into a little dipping bowl. Then you generously crown that sauce with those golden fried shallots and the dark, pungent dried chilies we prepped earlier, and finish it off with a fresh pop of cilantro. To get the perfect bite, you've got to get a little bit of everything on your spoon. The intense, bitter Sadao, the rich, smoky catfish, the crispy aromatics, all completely drenched in that deeply sweet, sour, and salty glaze. It is an absolute explosion of contrasting flavors that instantly balance each other out.
I absolutely love how our source material sums up this whole culinary philosophy. They use this quote, "There is the hero, and there must be a heroine." In this dish, the boldly bitter Sadao is our hero. But a hero needs a heroine to truly shine, right? And that heroine is the rich, savory grilled catfish, all tied perfectly together by the romance of that 3-flavor Nam Pla Wan sauce.
It really is a masterclass in how understanding the science of flavor balancing, getting sweet, sour, salty, and bitter to play nice, can elevate simple ingredients into a truly unforgettable meal. So, I want to leave you with this thought to ponder for your own kitchen. Now that you know the secrets of this intense, delicious 3-flavor sweet fish sauce, what protein would you choose as your heroine? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep exploring, keep learning, and I'll catch you on the next one.